Welcome back. I'm Brent Meredith. Despite our recent victory with the SCOTUS ruling, the fight for full marriage equality is far from over here in Tennessee. Joining me tonight to outline the most recent attack by our state legislature is Tennessee Equality Project Executive Director Chris Sanders. Welcome back, Chris. Good to see you.
Thanks for having me, Brent.
Well, of course, we haven't seen you since our reunion show, so
that's right. We had
to get you back sooner than later. So now, even as we sit here with this major victory in the form of the SCOTUS ruling under our belts, marriage equality, as you predicted here on the show, is still under attack. We have Kim Davis and her supporters continuing to garner attention, and then here at home, we have a new bill proposed by our own state legislature to sort of nullify, if I may use that word, the SCOTUS decision. Help our viewers understand what this means.
Well, what they're going to do is revisit the old definition of marriage and add some things. They're going to require the Attorney General to defend any state or local official who defends Tennessee's definition of marriage. Right now, if a county clerk goes rogue, it's on that county to pay the legal expenses and defend themselves. Under this bill, the state would assume those costs and those responsibilities, which means we could have dozens of them across the state doing it. There would be state agencies that would shift, and it would cause chaos for a period of time. Ultimately, it would be overturned in the courts. But look how long the Kim Davis saga has gone on. From the day of the ruling in June to still, she's tinkering with marriage licenses. So this thing could drag on if this bill passes. I take it as a very serious threat.
Well, and not to get off on a Kim Davis tangent, but just to remind our viewers again why what she's doing is technically illegal.
Because when she enters that office, she's not just Kim Davis. She is clothed with the responsibilities of the state, and in particular that county. And her job is outlined in state statute. She must issue marriage licenses. And since she is the one charged with that, when she refuses, the county and the state thereby refuse. It's not just Kim saying, no, I don't want to do this. It is the county and the state refusing. And the Supreme Court has said, no, you may not do that, because the 14th Amendment says no state shall make or enforce any law that abridges equal protection. So that's why it matters.
And she's coming from a stance of her voice is not being heard. So she's claiming that she's not being...
I hear it every other day on the news. I mean, I think she's being heard loud and clear, and that makes a good point. Personally, she can have and preach any views that she'd like. But in terms of actions, when she's in that clerk's office, she's acting in the person of the state.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. So now on to more details. So what is the premise behind the new bill that the legislature has? What do you feel like they're really getting at by introducing this?
Well, they're fond of the 10th Amendment, which talks about states' rights, and that's where they're coming from on this. Also, there's a strong socially conservative religious opposition around the state to marriage equality still. We still have county commissions, as recently as this week, Greene County passing resolutions urging the legislature to stand up against the Supreme Court.
Really? Wow. Now, Kim's fourth husband was in town last month to help launch this new bill here in Tennessee. You were there. What was the sort of tone of the event like, and who did you see? What was it like standing there on the plaza?
It wasn't quite as intense as a revival, but it had aspects of it. There was a lot of prayer, religious songs, but also socially conservative politicians. Ted Cruz's father, Rafael Cruz, was there, and a speaker who really fired up the crowd. So it had that kind of flavor. There were 40 state legislators there at one point, which should tell you we should be very concerned about this bill.
Now, so what are you hearing from those sort of not supporting the bill in and out of Tennessee? So is the National Republican Party really going to get behind this, or what are you sort of hearing behind the scenes on both sides?
Well, the bill was launched with this rally and a Republican caucus press release. So there is some level of support in the caucus, and as you all know, they're the majority. We'll see. I mean, I think the cost issue is one that will eventually sap some Republican support. So time will tell, but needless to say, the lobbying strategy is in place, and the ground game strategy to support the lobbying strategy is now being put in place.
Now, sort of getting around, if you will, a Supreme Court ruling isn't really a precedent I don't think anybody wants to set. So what do you think this is akin to? I mean, is this just a tantrum after the fact, like we didn't get our way, so now we're gonna pick away at the response, or is there some merit in what they're doing, given that, you know, we kept fighting, so they're going to keep fighting?
Well, it is a tantrum plus power. That's how you should look at it. And they do have the power to pass this bill. They do not have the power to sustain it after it passes forever. But what I worry about is that period of time between passage and getting turned over, because let's say that you are a married same-sex couple trying to get a divorce and there's been domestic violence. A judge could say, you never really were married, so I'm not going to grant the divorce. Let's say that you're in a relationship and one partner is about to die because you want to settle inheritance. Suddenly one goes into a coma, you can't get everything done, or you can't make medical decisions for that person during that span of time. That's why this is dangerous.
Now, we've got about a minute left. I just wanted to kind of touch base quickly on what is TEP's response to this? What are you guys doing?
Right, we'll use all the usual tactics, plus we're going to be canvassing in socially conservative legislative districts, finding supporters who will contact their legislators about this bill. It's a new tactic for us, and we're very excited about it.
Now, how can our viewers help?
They can contact me and they can join the canvass. We need more canvassers, and info@tnep.org.
Well, thank you very much, Chris. And we're going to conclude our discussion with Chris for this evening, but he will be back with us next week to talk more about local politics and TEP's upcoming Olympus fundraiser. We'll be right back with a look at Holy Trinity Church's Fall Festival and religion's evolving role with marriage in this week's Entertainment Outlook. Stay with us.